Thank you, thank you, thank you. You probably just want to stand up for a minute, right? You've been here for how long? A couple hours now? Thank you, Sean McGarvey, my brother. I appreciate the kind words. Most importantly, I appreciate your friendship. You're a true brother, and the vision and focus that you have brought to the building trades is incredible. And you and your Secretary-Treasurer, Brent Booker, my brother, are a phenomenal team, and I'm so grateful for your partnership and your vision. And the first phone call when Rich Trumka died, my first phone call was, of course, to my President, Lonnie Stevenson, and then to Sean McGarvey. And Sean dispatched staff, resources, whatever it was I needed in that moment, because it was a moment of crisis, and I will never, never forget it. Thank you, Sean. And I was glad I got to see the Mark Ayers Award, which brought back a lot of memories for me coming from the IBEW. Mark was a mentor to so many of us, including, I know, Mike Monroe, who I saw backstage, but I wanted to give a special shout out to a friend of mine, Kirk Brungard, who many of you know, has the nerve to retire from the NAB2 staff, and I just wanted to wish him well and thank him for his support and partnership over these many years. It is such an honor to be with you at this conference. And I want to thank this team that you have up here, the General Board of Presidents, the state and local leaders, all of you who have made the building trades a powerhouse all across North America. Give yourselves a hand. And it is such an honor to be with you this conference. It has been a huge part of my life. I remember sitting in these seats. I'm going to say I've been attending since 1999. Okay, I just outed my age. And I think 1999, there's a Prince song of some kind in there somewhere. But anyway, that is over 20 years. And I am just so honored to be here on this stage with you with such a fierce lineup this morning. Trailblazing women leaders who really, gave us a powerful message. Senator Murkowski, the first woman senator from Alaska, Secretary Raimondo, the first woman governor of Rhode Island, and of course, Speaker Pelosi, who is the first and only woman Speaker of the House. Talk about inspiration. It has been quite a morning. And anybody else in here having a hard time from the late night last night watching the national championship? Okay, because I'm hurting a little this morning. But if you're from Kansas, probably still celebrating. Okay, I thought there might be a small but mighty delegation out there. What a game. We have a lot of victories to celebrate. We have to be celebrating the victories for working people, which you have heard this morning a lot of talk about. Electing one of the most pro-union administrations in history. They are delivering results. We have a building tradesman as our Secretary of Labor. We pinch ourselves every day. Marty Walsh, the first union leader to run the department in more than 4 decades. And he's already making a difference for our members every single day. Another victory, the American Rescue Plan was huge. And so much of that is thanks to your leadership. Because we organized and mobilized for decades to get relief for our multi-employer pension plans. Sean McGarvey, take a bow, because you led us for 20 years. And we can truly now say promises made will be promises kept. And speaking of promises kept, it was this administration that finally delivered on infrastructure. Other presidents talked about rebuilding America. President Joe Biden got it done across the finish line. That's right. And the bipartisan infrastructure law is helping us create millions of good jobs to fix roads and bridges and improve our ports and airports and water infrastructure, install and maintain energy-efficient building tech, build a national electrical vehicle charging network. I could go on and on and on. But what is going to happen next? I'm looking to all of you, because it's up to us to shape this investment for the generations to come and to take advantage of the strong labor standards that we got attached to this infrastructure spending. And it's up to us to seek out those innovative partnerships with grant recipients. Be the enforcers to make sure that the money lands the way it is supposed to. And it's up to us to train the workforce and supply a steady stream of workers for these jobs. You've been hearing a lot about apprenticeship and training this morning, but I'll say it again, especially women, people of color, veterans, the formerly incarcerated, the folks who may not realize the power of a union apprenticeship. Because it's our time to shine and be laser focused in recruiting and expanding access to underrepresented communities. Create those on-ramps to careers that are gonna last a lifetime. And we know how to do that, don't we? That's right. No one is better at training people than we are. So let's make that training pipeline reflective of the communities where the jobs are being created. And we will help President Biden make good on that promise to deliver at least 40% of the overall benefits from federal investments in clean energy to disadvantaged communities. Can we do that? We have unlimited potential to recruit and train a diverse workforce and work with our employer partners to expand our footprint into parts of the country that don't have a lot of union density. And to train that emerging workforce for the jobs of tomorrow. Some of those jobs, we don't even know what they're gonna look like. And Sean and Brent talk about it all the time. The building trades apprenticeship programs are the gold standard. I don't know, is it the platinum standard now? Okay, the highest standard. But more people need to know about it. It should not be our best kept secret. Earn while you learn. And then afterwards, you have a good job waiting for you. A career. We talk about the difference between a job and a career filled with dignity, and opportunity, and advancement. We've seen how it changes lives. And I bet every person in here can picture someone that they pulled into that program who was sleeping in their car and couldn't figure out where to find the next meal for their kid. You know it. You've experienced it. And those folks find hope in their union. And those folks are now building wind turbines and powering America. This is powerful stuff. And the infrastructure jobs that we're planning for, these are going to be good jobs in our own backyards. I think someone referenced this morning the Biden-Harris lead pipe and paint action plan. Great example, right? It will not only give everyone access to clean water, which should be a fundamental human right in this country, but it's going to grow good jobs locally, build value for and trust with our employer partners. And the investments in the clean energy economy, like offshore wind, we just heard about it, expanding those top-down partnerships that we're building with companies like Ørsted, who absolutely see the value of working with the most highly skilled, highly trained professionals in the industry. And thank you, Brent, for the incredible work that you did on that MOU, that PLA. We have a chance to not only build sustainable infrastructure, but a sustainable future with good union jobs at the center. But to get there, we have to meet this modernization of our country with a modernization of our own. We, the labor movement, we have to change and adapt and shift with the times. And we need to build unions with members and leaders who look like our communities and share our values. And we are. We are building a bold, dynamic, and inclusive movement to meet the moment. We are building a movement that leverages our power to bring women and people of color from the margins to the center at work, in our unions, and in our economy. And I know what it's like to be the only woman in the room. I got my start in the labor movement coming up through IBEW, Local 125, Portland, Oregon, nearly 30 years ago. There are more women in the building trades now than there were decades ago, but we still have work to do. And we have to be laser focused on recruiting and retaining and protecting our union sisters. And most of them would tell you that it's their union they look to for that support. And that needs to be a priority, folks, because by 2025, what is that, 3 years from now, women will be half the labor movement. I'm going to say that again. Women will be half the labor movement in 3 years. We right now have 6.5 million women in the labor movement, and many people don't realize we are the largest organization of working women in the country. The labor movement. Share that far and wide, because, if you want to tweet, whatever you want to do, we want to lift that up, because we want every single one of those women in every type of job to see that they have a place in our movement. And that if they want, that place can also be at the head of the table. And I am so proud to see the building trades building and experimenting with different programs and structures to move the needle. Pre-apprenticeship programs to give women the knowledge and skills they need to succeed from the first day they put on that hard hat. The women's committees and tradeswomen organizations. Tradeswomen Build Nations we talked about, right? The lean-in circles that help foster that support network, which we know is so important. So our movement has to be constantly adapting and changing along with our members, because work is constantly evolving and changing. Think back to when you first got in the industry and how different it is now. Technology, right? Jobs are being redefined every single day. Look at how the gig economy has reshaped work just in the last few years, especially during the pandemic. And it's not just rideshare or delivery, Uber or Grubhub. We're seeing the Uberization of work all across the economy in all kinds of different jobs. In fact, in California, there is a ballot initiative to take nursing to a platform model. Like Uber, you dial it up on your phone and you call your nurse, and that person comes from wherever and shows up at your house. Can you imagine? The gig economy likes to think it's unique, right? They're a technology-driven platform. They're not employers, so they don't have to pay decent wages or provide health care or workers' compensation. But we know there's a better way, that you can be flexible and have a dynamic workforce and take care of the people doing the work. It's called the building trades model. We've been doing it for over 100 years. I like to say we are the original gig employer, right? It doesn't have to be a race to the bottom. We want to show the world that as we build toward the future, that our movement is adapting to meet the moment. And we've been doing this since our inception. And this is an incredibly pivotal moment. I don't need to tell you, where so many things are swirling around us. It's so high stakes. Ukraine, the Supreme Court, Truth Social. Even March Madness seemed more dramatic than usual. We started talking about that victory in New Orleans at the beginning here, but the victory I can't stop thinking about is what happened at JFK 8 on Staten Island. Those Amazon workers We heard it on Friday. Those Amazon workers formed the first ever union at Amazon. And they call themselves the Amazon Labor Union, which I absolutely love because it just gets labor union right out there, right? They're making waves all across the country. And of course, this victory was inspired by the heroic trailblazing workers in Bessemer, Alabama, who are now within striking distance of forming their own union with RWDSU UFCW. They had their second election at that plant. We all know it's a little more difficult to organize in Alabama than it is in New York, right? And they're standing on the shoulders of so many of us across the movement. And in fact, many building trades unions sent organizers down to Bessemer to work on that campaign. We had, I think, almost 15 unions working together to organize in Alabama, which was a first. Need to do more of it. It's incredible because Amazon just keeps breaking the law. And workers keep defying the odds in the face of one of the most wealthy anti-union corporations on the planet. They triumphed. Workers triumphed against the odds. And they reminded us. They reminded us how important it is to try new things. Not be afraid, even if you've done something before, to try it again, right? Learn from each other. Workers across the country are now reevaluating what they need from employers. And in the wake of this victory, I think a lot of light bulbs are going off in people's heads, right? So we need to stand ready with every tool we have to help them reimagine their future. And a victory at Amazon proves that when working people unite in the fight for justice, anything is possible. This is an incredible moment. This is an incredible moment for union activism, and it is clear this is just the beginning. We are not going to let outdated labor laws stand in our way of organizing and growing our power. We're going to keep fighting for the PRO Act and for a better, brighter vision for working people. And we're going to keep fighting for paid leave and accessible childcare, investments in clean energy. We're going to keep fighting and organizing and growing because that's how we build the future we all want. A future where every working person has a good union job in every community, and where every worker has the training and support they need to get those jobs and keep them. Our members and the American people are fed up. They're fired up. Let's show them that the labor movement has their back. So let's keep our foot on the gas. We have the momentum, and the building trades are leading the way. So let's build on that, build an economy that works for working people, everyone included, no one left behind. I cannot wait to see where we go from here. Thank you.